You are about to step into a unique experience, a world where history and memory collide, where stories embrace you. Feel free to look around and explore the world that surrounds you. You are not just watching, you are part of the journey. Welcome to a one-of-a-kind 360 documentary experience. For as long as we have existed, we've told stories, capturing history in film reels, in radio waves, in the glow of flickering television screens. These images shaped the way we saw the world, how we connected. Some stories were recorded, others faded into memory, and some leave footprints that never disappear. I remember his home office. It felt mysterious back then, filled with things I couldn't fully understand. His career, his passions, they were just puzzles I wasn't ready to solve.
México, Cuba y Puerto Rico son los países que de toda Latinoamérica y del mundo comienzan televisión. Estados Unidos fue como 8 o 10 años antes. En Europa, en muy pocos países, se hicieron cosas muy pequeñas, controladas por el gobierno. Porque la televisión era un medio muy fuerte. Se sabía que a la vez, a principio no, porque la gente no tenía televisores. Pero cuando el televisor se pudo vender a precios accesibles, mira, se convirtió la televisión en un medio demasiado fuerte.
Too strong of a medium that it had to be controlled. Those words lingered in my mind for years.
A new report argues that companies like Facebook and Google can no longer regulate themselves. It's recommending the creation of a powerful new government regulator to oversee social media platforms. The federally funded report also says those firms should have a legal duty to act responsibly and ensure harmful content is taken down quickly.
I've seen pictures and heard stories, but standing here, surrounded by these tapes, it's different. This isn't just history, this is my history. I used to think technology was just a tool, a means to create. But here, I realized that each tape and each reel isn't just a recording. It's a time capsule, preserving voices, moments, an entire era. He must have held this just as I am now. Did he know back then that he was creating something that would last? That one day, someone would retrace his steps, trying to understand how it all came to be? He worked in analog and I work in digital. He edited with razor blades and I edit with algorithms. But at the core, we are both preserving memory. My grandfather left a legacy in footprints, and now I am retracing his steps. Every moment in media history is connected. Every breakthrough in technology, every shift in content, every change in audience behavior has led us here. And now it's time to step inside the evolution. To understand where we are, we have to look at where we've been.
The faithful are flocking to this theater this morning. The Passion is playing on all 20 screens. Now, this Metroplex has the feel and look of a crowded theater on a Saturday evening, but it's early Ash Wednesday.
That's right. The movie opens in 2,800 theaters across the country today, but thousands have seen it already. 8 million tickets have been sold in advance, and early estimates are that this movie will make back its production costs of $25 million in the first 5 days.
A film about faith became a cultural phenomenon. The Passion of Christ wasn't backed up by a major studio, yet it broke records, becoming the highest-grossing R-rated film at the time. What about its marketing? For the first time, a film found its audience online before social media even existed. 2004 redefined cultural influence and heroism on screen. Spider-Man 2 proved superhero movies could be layered, emotional, and deeply human. Film and television were evolving.
Que lo interesante es que hoy, 2004, no está la televisión puertorriqueña como estaba hace 10, 15 años. Nosotros teníamos 10, 12 horas de televisión puertorriqueña en el Canal 47 de Nueva York.
¿Cómo va perdiendo esa presencia nuestra televisión?
Pues mira, va perdiendo debido a que empieza una nueva forma de pensar, de que hay que hacer programas no para ciertas áreas, sino para toda la comunidad hispana. Y esto está pasando hoy. Y mira, tienen razón desde un punto de vista.
Two shows changed the way society watched television. Lost became a hit. It didn't give audiences answers, it gave them questions, mysteries for people to theorize and connect on the internet to solve a story together. Desperate Housewives, on the other hand, had brought the art of scandal suburban soap opera unwrapped in mystery.
Paquito Cordero presenta el show de las 12.
While we were celebrating television's past, the future was already unfolding. 2005 was a turning point, a year that marked the beginning of a new era, one where the audience was no longer just a spectator, but a creator.
Hey, coming up next, are you a budding movie maker looking to strut your stuff? Well, we'll show you where to upload and share your videos for the world to see coming up.
Yes, the site's called youtube.com, and that's Y-O-U. And it's just a place where you can go. It's kind of like Flickr for videos, if you think of it like that, because you're actually able to tag your videos.
If somebody was to put the question to you about the magnitude of what you think you've launched, how big do you think your product or your service is?
Well, it's impossible to tell. When we first launched, we were hoping for, maybe 400, 500 people. Harvard didn't have a Facebook, so that's the gap that we were trying to fill. And now we're at 100,000 people, so who knows where we're going next. We're hoping to have many more universities by the fall, hopefully over 100 or 200. And from there, we're going to launch a bunch of side applications, which should keep people coming back to the site and maybe could make something cool.
Sci-fi was reclaiming its place in blockbuster filmmaking. Batman Begins introduced a new kind of comic book movie, grounded, dark, and psychological. Harry Potter became a billion-dollar franchise, proving that serialized storytelling was a future for cinema. Long before streaming made television cinematic, shows like Grey's Anatomy blurred the lines between the big and small screen. Audiences were feeling the stories, living inside them. Television wasn't just competing with movies, it was learning from them.
For quite some time now, we've been hearing media executives everywhere talk about making movies and TV available on what they call alternative platforms.
For Apple, a video iPod able to play music videos, television shows, and movies was the logical next step. The new 60-gigabyte iPod holds 15,000 songs, 25,000 photographs, and plays 150 hours of video on a color screen. Threatens to do for movies and television what the original did for music. It is unquestionably cool. Steve Jobs announced a deal with the ABC television network, owner of ABC News, to sell downloads of 5 hit television shows. But how many people will want to watch video on a 2.5-inch screen?
Television still held its throne, but a new force was rising, one that couldn't be controlled by the network or studios. The power of storytelling was shifting from carefully produced screens to the raw, unscripted chaos of the internet. and in just 2 years, entertainment would never be the same. Traditional television was losing its grip. The highest rated shows weren't comedies or dramas anymore. They were reality shows. The industry had learned that nothing captivates audiences more than the feeling they're watching something they shouldn't.
Here in Hollywood, somebody's got to wait on the red carpet to show off the gowns. It's just not us.
Let me see the camera, by the way. Come here.
We're TMZ.
Excuse me, that's rude.
The Hollywood stories.
We're giving TMZ TV content here.
You won't see anywhere else. Somebody's got to keep it real.
The rise of gossip culture and reality television created a new line of entertainment. No longer were audiences watching polished Hollywood stories. Now they were watching real people, real drama, real lives packed into bite-sized scandals. In 2007, society started to participate in it. Reality TV and gossip culture redefined the boundaries between entertainment and real life, making it really hard to tell where the script ended and reality began.
That's it, we're done.
But not all reality-based shows were built on drama. Some were built on dreams. 2007 saw the rise of artist show series that raised an entire generation. Just like the gangster movie era led to a 161% increase in real-world violence, the explosion of artist-driven shows fueled a rise in young people pursuing creative careers. The kids who watched these shows didn't just admire their idols, they wanted to be them.
Computer giant Apple says it's reinvented the phone, marrying a mobile with an iPod, giving birth to the iPhone.
Step one is using your digits to unlock the iPhone's much-hyped features, whether playing videos or even resizing photos, from web surfing to a menu of your voicemails that look more like emails to Google Maps.
All thanks to another Apple gadget, you'll soon be able to wirelessly transmit your movies and music straight to your home entertainment system.
Apple TV is a way to enjoy your media on your big screen TV.
Forget blogging and MySpace. If you really want to stay connected, there is a new service, and supposedly it is the next big thing. It's a name you can't forget. It's called Twitter.
But here's the twist. Users no longer need a PC or a blog. Messaging can be typed by cell phone. That's its selling point.
And we are glad to have you on this historic day, at this historic moment. We've been talking for months about the digital transition. Now it is finally happening.
For those of you who already have digital, who have cable, who have Fios, who have a satellite, you're not going to see anything. We are going to be here the same as we always have. For those of you who have analog, in about 25 seconds, 20 seconds or so, your signal will go off. If you have a converter box, you're going to need to reboot that converter box. We've been talking to you a lot about that. We want no viewer left behind. This is a change in the way we communicate, and in about 10 seconds, the old analog way that has ushered in television for the last 60 to 70 years will be no more. We're going to count down to 4, 3. Bill Beam is going to push the button over here. 2, 1. Bill, push the button.
Cameras you see before you are color cameras. They are now transmitting a black and white picture. By pressing this button, which I now do,
Play in full spectrum color.
Hey, look at me, I'm in color! Come on in, it's lovely!
Just like when television changed from black and white to color, people had to be taught how to see differently, how to adjust their devices to make the change. 2009 was also the year my grandfather passed. The heart that pushed behind so many productions had stopped, and with it, an entire era of storytelling felt like it was slipping away. And then, something woke me up. I remember sitting at the theater watching Avatar, and for the first time since my world had quieted, I felt my heart beat again. More than a film, it was a revolution, a world built entirely from imagination, rendered through technology my grandfather never got to see. It was proof that storytelling didn't have to die with the past. It would evolve, expand, take us places we've never even dreamed possible. By 2009, the shift had happened. Film was evolving and television began to blur. Something new, overwhelming, was about to take its place. By 2010, entertainment had entered a new phase. Television wasn't just competing with cinema anymore, it was competing with the internet. This was the dawn of streaming, the binge era, and the moment where storytelling became truly on demand.
Well, House of Cards is the first series produced by Netflix exclusively for its more than 33 million worldwide subscribers.
House of Cards actually was viewed last week by more people than any single television show, except for the Oscars.
Netflix is gambling that their original content can attract and retain many more of those subscribers. It's looking like a good strategy, judging by House of Cards. A recent poll found 86% of its subscribers said the show made them less likely to cancel their subscription. Netflix became a first in the industry to use an algorithm mined from the preferences of its 33 million users to produce House of Cards.
Before 2010, television was an event. You waited for the next week's episode, counted the days, tuned in at the same time as millions of others. But by the time House of Cards premiered, that was over. Hollywood felt the shift too. Blockbusters still thrived, but some of the best storytelling was happening at home. Directors who once fought for the big screen now saw streaming as a new frontier.
To take it all the way, we've created Hulu. Hulu beams TV directly to your portable computing devices anytime, anywhere, for free. And once your brains are reduced to a cottage cheese like mush, we'll scoop them out.
So why does Amazon think it needs to be in the business of buying movies and making movies?
We're trying to bring the time between when it premieres in theaters to when you get it in Prime, to make that shorter. When it's still present in your mind, it feels like a fresh, exciting film.
And it wasn't just about what we watched, it was about how we watched it. Social media became its own entertainment platform. Content was shorter, faster, more addictive, and for the first time, the power of storytelling shifted towards the internet.
Twitter released a new app that lets you upload 6-second videos. The app's called Vine. It's available for iOS devices and is already being called the Instagram for video.
So is Snapchat the future of news? Well, the New York Times seems to think so. It published this article saying, quote, Snap has quietly become one of the world's most innovative and influential consumer technology companies, and thus represents a departure from the filtered viral feeds that dominate much of the rest of the online news environment.
As the smartphones have gotten better, and in particular as the cameras have gotten better, the new battle is over video. And today, Instagram launched a new video service. If you're an Instagram user, you know how it works. You can add some cool filters, add some neat effects to your photos. Well, now they're doing the same thing for video.
The unveiling of Disney's new streaming service, Disney Plus, will bring top movies and TV shows directly to your devices.
It's not who you are now.
I'm a warrior, aren't I?
So what you've got there is Rosa Salazar and, you know, motion capture, and now the fact that you can do this with visual effects, you can combine a physical performance with these extraordinary visual effects. That character exists absolutely in a thing which is known in the industry as uncanny valley, which is that thing between, is it animation, is it live action?
Well, Morgan, after investing billions of dollars in content, Netflix is finally heading into the Oscars with its first ever Best Picture nomination for Roma, which has a total of 10 nominations. It's tied for the most nominations for any single movie this year.
In 2020, the world stopped. Theaters went dark. Late-night talk shows were filmed from living rooms. In a world where physical spaces were shut down, digital platforms became the only stage.
Oppenheimer and Barbie are drawing people back to the big screen. We know that after a big pandemic lull.
According to a press release, more than 20,000 people have already bought tickets to see both movies on the same day. People are making it a thing. Fans creating their own Barbie Oppenheimer double feature. It's a trend that's taking off on social media.
We've spent decades shaping stories, but now stories are shaping us. 100 years ago, television was born. It was a revolution, a new way to see the world, to connect, to tell stories. But now, as we stand at the edge of a new era, the question is no longer about what television once was, but whether it even exists anymore. We are the first generation to experience media without limits. No screens, no frames, no distinction between reality and illusion. We are inside the stories now, but with that power comes responsibility. Because if stories shape the world, then we are the ones shaping the future. Between 2020 and 2025, the way we experience media changed more than the last century combined. Artificial intelligence became the storyteller, and entertainment was no longer something we consumed. It became something we lived inside of. What happens when we can no longer tell the difference? When the actor is not flesh and bone, but a collection of algorithms? When film is no longer written, but generated? When the world we step into is no longer real? We are here, but where is here? A film? A memory? A simulation? Or something else entirely? My grandfather's stories exist in a vault, tangible, preserved. But mine, they exist in the cloud. History is now written in pixels, stored in fragile web of data. If the cloud disappears, if the servers fail, does our story still exist? Does our story still exist?